All right, so we're going to take a look at special right triangles. Again, this is just a quick review. I want to teach you how to read the rules. So if you're looking at a 40, 45, 90-degree triangle, you have to find the box, draw the man. Okay, that's his package. He's P's on the hypotenuse. And the two legs are right there with the lines. Okay, so he P's on the hypotenuse. His two legs are going to be the same, and the hypotenuse is going to be what the legs are times radical 2. So all you have to do is multiply by radical 2. But if they give you the hypotenuse, to find the legs, you have to divide by radical 2. And remember, the denominator cannot be a radical. So let's take a look at an example for that. So here is the man. There are his legs. He P's on the hypotenuse. His legs are exactly the same. So remember, his legs have to be exactly the same, and the hypotenuse is the leg times radical 2. So if one of his legs is 8, that also has to be 8, and that has to be 8 radical 2, because all you do is you take the leg and you just multiply by radical 2. So that's pretty easy. Let's see if we can find one going from the hypotenuse having to find the legs. So here's another triangle. They give you the hypotenuse. Okay, so go ahead and draw the man. And he P's on the hypotenuse. So remember, the hypotenuse, you have to divide by radical 2 to get back to the legs. So take 12, divide that by radical 2, and that's going to give you one of the legs. So you cannot have, again, a radical on the bottom, so we have to rationalize it. To rationalize, you multiply top and bottom by the denominator. When you do that, you're going to get 12 radical 2. And on the bottom, when you multiply radicals, you just get the number inside. Okay, and then of course you simplify, it's going to give you 6 radical 2. So both of the legs are exactly the same, so they're both 6 radical 2. So that's a 45, 45, 90. Okay, going from legs to the hypotenuse and hypotenuse to the legs. Well, let's look at the 30, 60, 90, and I'm really going to focus on being on 30. When you find the 30, if you go across from the 30, that's always going to be x. Okay, then you go across past the 60, that's going to be twice x, and the other leg is going to be x radical 6. So let's find out 30. Even if they give you 60, the other side is 30. So from 30 is what we're always going to do. You're going to go across from 30, that's going to give you x. Pass over to the 60, it's going to give you 2x, and the other longer leg would be x radical 3. So you just need to remember that triangle. So across, that's x. So 4 radical 2 right now is x. To find y, I just need to multiply that by 2. So what's 4 times 2 radical 2? That's going to be 8 radical 2. And I'm just going to show the work right here. And anytime I copy something down, you also have to copy it down. This is a listening check. Go ahead and shade in 8 radical 2. All right, now to find the other leg, it's just the x value times radical 3. So the x value is that times radical 3 will give you 4 radical 6. So given x, you can find the other two missing parts relatively easy. You can find the hypotenuse, which is twice, and then you can find the longer leg, which is x times radical 3. Now, let's say you're given the hypotenuse and you want to find the other two missing. I'll teach you to go from the hypotenuse to the shortest leg, which is just x, and then find the longer leg. So let's find one of those questions. So we're going to do question 6. Again, even if they give you the 60, find the 30, which is the other side. All right, go across from the 30, that's going to be your x. And remember, when you pass the 6, that's going to be your 2x. So if 2x is equal to 6, to come back to x, we're going to divide that by 2 because it's 2 times x. So that's going to give us 3. To get the longer leg, it's going to be the x value, which is 3, and then multiply by radical 3, and you're done. Okay, so if they'll give you hypotenuse, find the shortest leg, then the longest leg. What if they give you the longest leg? Again, you want to find x. So if they give you the longest leg, which is 15, the longest leg is multiplied by radical 3. So to go backwards, you're going to divide by radical 3. And remember, if you get a radical on the bottom, you have to rationalize the denominator. So divide by radical 3, rationalize it, which means you multiply top and bottom by radical 3. And that's going to give you 15 radical 3. And again, a radical times a radical, the same number is just the number. All right, so that's your x value. So to find the other missing piece, all you do is multiply by 2, and that will give you your y value. So 2 times 5 radical 3 is going to give me 10 radical 3. This is a listening check. Shade in 10 radical 3. All right, now that we've gone over all the examples, let's just do another one. So again, if the triangle is isosceles, they're both 45 degrees. They give you the hypotenuse, which remember is x radical 2. So to go backwards, you just need to divide by radical 2, and that will give you what x is. So that's 10, and they're both the same. All right, this is another 45, 45. So Again, the legs are exactly the same. So if they're exactly the same, that one's 4 radical 2. To find the other one is going to be x times radical 2, which is going to be 4 radical 2 times radical 2. The radicals are going to be 2 when you multiply them together, times the 4 is 8. That's a listening check. Correct number 3 to 8 as the hypotenuse. Again, another 45, 45, which means the legs are the same. So if one leg is 5 radical 3, the other leg is also 5 radical 3. This is a listening check. Write down what I'm about to say on the hypotenuse side. Once you find the legs, the hypotenuse is whatever the legs is times radical 2. So 5 radical 3 times radical 2. Radical 3 times radical 2 will give you radical 6 times 5 will be 5 radical 6. All right, let's take a look at a 30-60 triangle. So again, find your 30, go across, that's x. And then when you cross over to the hypotenuse, that's going to be twice as much as x. So, and the longer leg is x times radical 3. So if I have the hypotenuse, to get to x, I'm going to divide by 2. So if that's 14 divided by 2 will give me what x is, which is 7. And then multiply by radical 3 to find the longer leg. All right, take a look at another 30-60. Find the 30, across is x. Hypotenuse is 2x, and the longer leg is x times radical 3. The longer leg, so to find the shorter leg, I have to divide that by radical 3. So that's going to give me 8, and then multiply by 2 to give me the hypotenuse, which is 16. And that's pretty much it. But practice makes perfect, guys, so let's go ahead and practice.